Welcome to EJH Bridge Cars. Well, the time has come to put the last of the chrome and the grill and everything on the nose apron. That's the piece that holds the headlights and all that, and get it ready to put on the car. So I've been working on the trim that goes around the opening on this nose. Now I know my TR2 should not have that particular piece of trim, but somewhere that piece of sheet metal has been replaced on this car, and I'm starting to think that it was either a very early TR3 or a TR2 that somebody added that trim too, because there's a couple of just weird things about it. So I'll show you that and I'll show you the rest of it too. So let's go take a look. As you can see, I put the bottom one in place. So it's held on with these clips. So these slide into the piece of metal right there, kind of like that. And then they go through these holes. But what's interesting is this top lip doesn't have any holes in it. And you look, there's a tab here and a tab there. It looks like somebody brazed on because they're not part of the original stamping. And so it's just kind of odd. And there's some, like, see, there's an extra hole here. That one looks to be the same as that one, but there's an extra one here. And then this piece of trim, if you look, there's two tiny holes here, one there, and there's two tiny holes in the upper piece of this trim. Yeah, right there, right near the corner. So I'm really starting to think this started off life as a piece that didn't have this on there, and it's just been modified because this car was hit pretty hard at some point in time. Looks like the inner fender has been replaced, and because this car had dents all over it. Anyway, so I'm going to drill some holes there now. I got these pieces from Moss. Well, this is actually one that I made because Moss didn't have as many as I needed. So they're just, here's a Moss one. It's a 1032 rivet head screw, for lack of a better term, and it's just a 1/2 inch square piece of fairly heavy sheet metal. And I expect that it was probably spot welded somehow or another because it's in there pretty well. These ones I just found some heavy, similar gauge metal, cut it a 1/2 inch square, and I tapped it for 1032 so you can get, I don't know, a thread and a half maybe, but it's enough just to hold that. So anyway, my plan now is to drill 4 holes up here. See, they've got the 2 down here. So we'll do that. I drilled starter holes with I think that's an 1/8 inch bit. Had to use my angle drill because there's not enough room to get in here. Otherwise, you can probably see. So I've got the 4 holes started there, and going up to the larger size drill now. It's a lot easier to see them now that they actually have holes. It's just seeing the little, just finding the dents from the center punch was kind of difficult. As you can see, these drill pretty readily now. There you go. One thing I noticed about these pieces of chrome, there's a little notch in the edge right here, so you can slide those the keepers in. Just put them under the fat edge, and that just slips inside there, and then they'll slide along. So that makes life a lot easier. Now I'm going to put 4 across the top, and we need to put 2 down low for the other holes. So fitting this in is kind of fussy. So what you need to do is I put one of these pieces in, actually to that side, and kept it fairly close to this end because it's going to wind up about here when it's done. And then put this one in just in the end and brought the ends together to pop that in there. And then once that's in there, you have to slide that bolt up further than it normally would go to get this bolt through. Now, I did take the ones that I'm sliding and I filed these 2 edges to make them slide in that channel just a little bit easier because they were kind of a snug fit. So anyway, they're definitely fussy. I'm kind of learning as I go, but that's where I'm at so far. Also found this is just a scratch job, but I put it in there, and that'll keep this edge from digging into the paint. And it also pushes against the very top edge of that screw, which makes it easier to slide. It's not trying to rotate that T-nut as much. So I got it in. Did make some adjustment. These are sheet metal. People like the HVAC guys use these things. These are from Harbor Freight again. But what I found is that the piece of metal that it's on the apron was at an angle, and that bolt was coming in square, so it was having a hard time getting in like that. So I bent that edge where the hole's at with this a few degrees, and I put this, because this was sticking down a bit on either side, and just tweaked it a little bit, and it popped right in. So I think that's good. So the other thing that needs to happen is these go in. So these are the end finishers, and they hold the end of the channel. So I'm going to go ahead, see if I can't get all the nuts started. I'm not going to tighten anything down until we get everything in place, which is always a good habit with anything. So I'll play with that next. Got it in. My biggest problem was these chromes were twisted. So they're not creased, not beyond redemption or anything, but it was really to stop, take some time, and bend them so they fit the opening correctly, because that screw is up there and there isn't one down below there. So you've got to get these two pieces lined up pretty well to get them to pull in with this clip, because this clip is just fairly thin stainless steel. So definitely put the two end pieces in first. This one's easy because everything faces down. That just goes in. And on these, make sure that those T bolts, that's these things, slide easily in this track. So I took even the moss ones, I took and filed them down just a little bit, not much. Took up maybe 10 or 20 thousandths. But I got them so they would move. Put the one side in and held it, that bolt, pretty high so that this thing was not here, it was down there. And then started this one. And then when you're going to put it down, when you go to put this in, you should do is put a screwdriver underneath. Otherwise, the ends of this piece of metal are going to scratch the heck out of your paint. So with that in there, you can then rotate this back. And before you push it up, you want to start, remember that that had that relieved area so you can slide your T-bolts in. So put your T-bolts in. Matter of fact, I started this one before I put this in. And just put it in and just put a nut on the top, a couple of threads so it wouldn't fall out. Before you put this in, you got to start the other three and get them lined up where the holes are. So as you bring this, slide this on its T-bolt back up, that you're installing those three. So because you got this one kind of started, you do that one, and that one is what I did. You know, made sure that the ends are pretty close, and then I could get these started. And then I wound up bending these tight to the pieces a little bit with a pair of channel locks. And that like that end's a little high still, so I'll probably tap that with a rubber mallet too. Anyway, then get them all in and get them all started. Don't tighten anything down. Make sure it's going to line up, and then just go through and, you know, basically probably get these ones finger tight, or so that the gap's pulled up tight, or at least close to tight. And then get the nuts started on those two. Make sure these are going to fit in, and then you can just go through and just run everything down and then snug everything up. But it looks pretty good now. Its chrome's a little beat up, but boy, they don't give this stuff away. I gotta tell you, if I had realized how expensive this was, I probably would have just welded the holes up, because this isn't really supposed to have this anyway, but what the hell, made it look fancy. Period accessory, right? Anyway, next I think we're going to put the badge on up there. When you go to put your badge on, the first thing you want to do is dry fit it. Make sure it's fitting pretty snug all the way around. I bought some new ones over the years, and they always tend to be a bit flatter, but they actually bend with this curve pretty easily. So the two pins went through, and they're right there. And I bought a new set of clips. These are just those push nuts. So we need to put those on. So these go arch side facing the steel. Make sure you put your hand on the other side because you have to push pretty hard on this. Well, that went on easier than I expected. You may need to take a small screwdriver and push them on the top of the arch to get them really good and tight. And this one feels pretty good. Well, you can see this, but I'm just pushing right adjacent to the pin. Make sure that thing is really on there. There we go. Well, that was easy. And the next thing we're going to want to do, which is why I put this cloth on top of this workstation, so I wouldn't goof up the paint. Oh! Put it face side down. What I want to do is mount the grill right here. I'll have to go get some press nuts to catch it. So I was noticing these things are a little bent up where these nuts go. So we're just going to work those a little bit flatter. So that the new piece will, the new grill will fit in there flat. Here it is all bolted down. I tried using the J-nuts, but my J-nuts wouldn't get close enough. That by the substantial amount that they were basically putting the screws out at the edge, and the screws need to be almost into the center to be able to work on this thing. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, 1032 bolts. They don't want to fit up on these angle ones. But it's in there now. And this replacement grill had one side with protectant on it, and it is slightly shinier than the back, so I put it shiny side out. I've installed the cross brace. These two bolts here are just slightly longer because of the extra tab that it's going through. Pretty straightforward. Added some harness connect collector, I don't know, harness wrap, whatever you want to call it. This is obviously not what was from the factory. It would have just been wrap wires, but you're not going to see it, so I thought I would use this. Now I neatened all that up. I got this on. I think we're about ready, but not today. It's late in the day. I'm hot and tired. I'm ready to go have a nice cold soda and sit down under the fan. So that's all in place. I'll flip it over and let you see it from the front. And there it is. I have to be careful the angle I shoot at, because if I come over here, that thing just shines off of that grill. But that's the original emblem. It was in good enough shape, I decided to keep it. I've replaced enough of this car as it is. Nice tripod headlights. The flat Lucas lights as original. This is the 3A trim, whether it was in here. I'm sure it was on the car, otherwise I wouldn't have had it. But this was all disassembled when I got it. I'm really starting to think this is a TR2 front end or early 3 that didn't have this, because it really looks like somebody just added that later. So what we obviously need is take this is where the block for the starter handle goes. We'll take that back off the car before we put this on. Well, I hope you enjoyed all that. Again, all this fussy stuff, I've been out here working on this for almost 4 hours today from the start of the video. It's surprising how long it takes to, you had to make a couple of bolts out of longer bolts, and just all that nicky nacky stuff. I like to reuse the original bolts because they have the original stampings on the head for the grade of bolt that they are, which is like it's actually a grade like 5.57 or something like that. It's not the same as American, but regardless. Don't forget to like, share, join, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you next time.